All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome in to media availability here this week. We're joined by the head coach of the Flames, Hugh. Liberty 7-3, getting ready to host a top 25 team here in Louisiana, Lafayette, this Saturday at 4 o'clock inside Williams Stadium. And coach, as you begin, or as we begin, if you want to give us an update on your team coming out of the bye week, and then your thoughts on Louisiana Lafayette, then we'll take questions.
Yeah, I hope that I haven't really. We had a team meeting this morning, but we haven't. We've been in different practice segments, but seemed like everybody was fresher. I hope that was the goal. Obviously, 10 straight weeks was difficult without an open date, so we welcomed that last week, and hopefully they got a lot of rest and are feeling better as we head into the final two games of the season. So look forward to getting, today's more of a walkthrough, teach day, film day, and then tomorrow we'll have a normal Tuesday practice. So hopefully we'll see a little better pep in our step and a little more energy. Obviously, need to have that with who we have coming in here. It's one of the better Group of 5 programs in the country over the last several years, and can't compliment the job Billy has done there enough. And they really are fundamentally sound football team that are well coached in every facet, and they play great complementary football and are a very tough opponent week in, week out. And they're on I guess, probably 9-game win streak after dropping their opener to Texas. And are just playing a top 25 team. I don't know how many we've had come into Williams Stadium, but it's going to be on national TV, and it's a chance for us to, again, what I've always said is we've gotten bowl eligible. Now let's test ourselves, and this is a great way to end our season, is testing ourselves against two really good football teams these last couple of weeks.
All right, thank you, sir. We'll go ahead and take some questions now. We'll start with Damian Sordelad from the News in Advance.
Hugh, I'll answer your question. This is only the second top 25 team that's come into Williams Stadium. The first was Syracuse in your debut.
Oh.
I'd
like to forget that debut.
But from the growth of this program, from taking over first game there here, how have you seen the program grow to now where you're hosting your second top 25 team in a game that's going to be on national TV, like you said?
There's obvious growth. I think the results that are out there of what we've done in 3 years here, being bowl eligible in each year, and 2-0 in bowl games, and had a lot of firsts last year, and been competitive in most every game we've played in. So I think that the judge of growth, I think, is the fact that we're bowl eligible again in year 3 with 2 games remaining, and hopefully have a chance to compete. We competed our last game with a top 15 team, and I thought we were in the game, and hopefully we can do the same against another top 25 opponent here this Saturday. But it's hard to argue that I think that if you were to poll coaches around the country, I have no idea what they would say, but I do think they would recognize Liberty as one of several non-Power 5 schools that would get your attention if you're playing them. So I think we've become somewhat relevant, and hopefully we'll continue to compete at a level that makes people feel that way.
Go to John Manson from the Sea of Red.
Coach, you got an up-close look at Levi Lewis, the Louisiana quarterback, a couple years ago in your second game at Liberty down there at Louisiana. Watching him on tape so far this season and over the last few days, how has he improved his game even since that last meeting?
Yeah, it seems to be more, it's hard for me to remember that far back, truthfully. I know that they were really, really good that year, but he is just a complete quarterback. He's throwing accurate balls. He's got great athletic receivers, great tight ends. They play a lot of tight ends. They're really deep at that position, and he can use his legs when needed to be difficult to defend. He is a really, really solid quarterback that, obviously when teams have quarterbacks that play real well and D-lines that play real well, you have a chance to win a lot of games. And I think you look at their team, certainly they have great skill around them at receivers and running back. I mean, I think this is one of the top 2 or 3 running backs we faced this year, in my opinion. And, but you look at their D-line, you look at their quarterback, and those 2 units have played really well for them over the course of Billy's tenure there. And it's no mystery why they've won so many games. It's because of those 2 positions primarily. Then you put all those talent around them, like those receivers they have, and tight ends and running backs and skill positions. There's a plethora of them in that state, I know, and they've done a great job recruiting and then taking them and coaching them up.
Damian?
Hugh, when facing a dual-threat quarterback like Lewis, you guys have had some success stopping those types of quarterbacks this season. What's been a key to being able to keep them contained and take at least one facet of the game away from them?
Well, I think, we're able to speak into that, when I'm talking with Scott and the defensive guys. I kind of, I know a few things about what we try to do offensively with guys like Levi and Malik and others. So, when we kind of compare our thoughts, I think I can tell him what gives us problems and kind of tell him what we're thinking on this side, and they try to come up with a solution. So, and then we're able to kind of replicate that some, with Caden Salter and others that we can use to simulate what we're going to face on Saturday. But they're very difficult because they do a great job formationally also, and a lot of shifts, a lot of motions, a lot of different looks, different pitchers. So they kind of force you to be somewhat simplistic, and ultimately we're going to have to fit the right gaps and tackle well in space to defend somebody like this.
Good.
Yeah, just off the wall question. Did you watch Gus coach from the stand there against SMU?
They had the early kick, so I was on the golf course. No, I didn't get to see it, but he did call me and early last week to ask me exactly what I used when I had my back issue, and so I did talk him through that. And so did it look similar to mine that we had?
It did.
Well, good. I'm glad he was able to do that. I know that's he's not real happy about his injury.
I'll ask another one. From their defensive, you mentioned their defensive line. How much did you work with the offensive line in this past week of making sure they can give Malik protection and be able to combat their front?
I probably spent more time with them than ever before last week, and just trying to figure out ways to give us a chance. This group is not only their D-line's talented, but their linebackers and secondary also. They're a complete team, and they'll bring pressure from both boundary and field. So we're going to have to, we've got to protect him. The games we have, we've got a good chance to win, and we typically don't turn it over when we protect him well. So that's a big key to us competing in this game.
John?
You mentioned Billy Napier and the job he's done there. How well have you gotten to know him over the years, and what has been the key to his success the last 3 or 4 years at Louisiana?
Yeah, I know enough about Billy to I think he's one of the best guys in the business. I think he cares about more than just the kids on the field and the wins and the losses. I think he's a man of faith and principle, and I kind of like his demeanor. So I've always had a high opinion and regard for Billy, and then obviously the job he's done has been pretty special there. I mean, there's players all throughout that state, and he knows that, and he's done a heck of a job getting and retaining great staffs, and it shows that they have the complete picture there completed with players and coaches and a vision, and he's leading that charge, and he's done it really well.
Damian?
Hugh, from an injury standpoint, were you able to get a lot of guys healed up that you've talked about all season of, man, I wish we could get healthy? Are you guys are you on the trajectory of guys being healthier now?
I think we'll be as healthy as we can be. I mean, there's still those that you lost for the year that won't be back, but the ones that can try to play, certainly the last week off will help them be in a better situation to do so.
How pleased, going back over film, were you with Darrell coming back, from surgery and how in his reps against Ole Miss?
He played solid. You could tell he's not 100%, but he played solid. So hopefully this week off and another week this week to get back in game shape will help him.
Another question for me: have you been able to convince the students to stick around for Saturday's game?
I've got to talk to Ian about my plan on that. I've got to figure out a plan. That's going to be a hard task, I bet, but I'm sure going to try.